Hi guys, welcome to the next video. Guys, I had a dream last night that I feel like is very important. So I wanted to go ahead and bring it to you. Guys, remember that I do not have the gift of interpretation, so I'm going to the things that I'm going to be pointing out to you are just things that were impressed upon me and things that are just kind of glaring right out at us to understand. If anybody else has any other information that they could provide on the stream, I would welcome it. I appreciate you taking the time to do that. Okay, so here's the dream. I was in a car. I don't know what kind of car it was. I don't know what color the car was. I don't know anything like that. I just know that I was driving this car and I was trying to find an airport. And I didn't know where the airport was. I was looking for it and I couldn't find where the airport was. And in my mind, I said, I just need to follow God. Let Him lead me. And as soon as I allowed that to happen, I went ahead and switched lanes. And as soon as I had thought that, I noticed that I was going in just a slightly different direction. And I happened to look up in my rearview mirror, and I noticed that a white car had also come into that particular lane. And so the next thing I know, the dream switched. And I realized I was out of the car and I was trying to find my tickets. Now, I knew that the tickets were there, and actually they are there and they are accessible. I just needed to get them printed. And so I think I must have been at the airport, but on the outside of the airport. And so I was looking around and I found this kiosk looking thing. And basically what it was is it was, relatively big touchscreens that you could touch and do things on, like those bigger monitor screens that they have now. And it was a row of them. I don't know how many across there were. I'm not sure. But it was up an incline. It was up a hill that you had to walk up to get to where these touchscreens were. And the screens were against like a wall that had ivy on it, or some type of, like ivy, the viney looking plant, like ivy. And I noticed that that the ivy seemed to be kind of growing, a little bit forward to where it was, kind of framing some of the screens that were there. And so I was in front, and I was starting to do my information. Now I noticed there was a man to my right. It was a black man, and he was doing his own thing on his screen, and I was doing my stuff on mine. And I happened to pick the far left. I think it was the far left screen. And so I was up the hill. I was doing this, and now what was going on in me is that I was very excited. I knew I was there for my tickets. I knew the tickets were to get on a plane, and I knew where the plane was going. So in my mind, right then, I was excited. I was like, it's time. It was time. I knew it was time. It was time for us to go. I was getting my tickets, and I was ready to go. But there was still a little bit of a stress there, because I was trying to I was trying to get them in my hand so that I could get on to the plane. Several dreams that I've had in the past where I had to make my way to the plane. I had to go through a mall, like a maze, a busy mall in some way, but for some reason I could never remember the direct route, how to get through. For the first couple of times I had made some mistakes and what have you, but when I did get to the plane, it was, just in the nick of time, and it was, here's my ticket, get onto the plane, and then you were like, oh, thank God, I can relax now, and so that was kind of the feeling too, the total excitement about, this is it, we're getting the tickets. I knew what they were for. I knew in my dream what they were for. And excuse me. But the other feeling that I had too is that I needed to be careful. I was I was entering information, and the type of carefulness that I needed to be is not like to be on total alert, but to be observant, in a way like when you go to an ATM and you are entering in your information to pull cash out, then you need to know who's around you and how close they are to you and where they are, and so you have to be aware of your surroundings. That was basically the feeling that I had. I was up there and I needed to be aware of what was going on and who was around me. Then all of a sudden the dream switched, and I wasn't up on this hill in front of my screen anymore. I was down. Somehow I was down and along the side, and I knew I needed to make my way back up that hill. And I got back up that hill, and I saw, as soon as I got up to that computer, I saw that I had 4 seconds left to hit the submit button, or I would have lost my ability to print my tickets. Now, when I made my way back up the hill, I mean, I was running. I was trying to get up there. I was like, what happened? I don't know what happened in that, from the time that I was at my screen to the time I was at the base side over here, that I had to make my way back up again. The Lord did not allow me to remember that in the dream. I wondered to myself when I woke up, did I just walk away? And I thought, no, man, that's highly unlikely. I knew while I was there, I knew what the tickets were for. I knew I was getting ready to get on a plane. I knew where I was going on that plane. And so for me to just walk away, I thought, no, that's highly unlikely. I doubt that. And so I wondered, well, did I have to do something? Did something distract me? Did I allow something to distract me? Did the enemy attack me? Did something happen? I don't know. I don't know what happened. I do not know what happened. But I know that when I finally recognized, when I was around down at the bottom of the hill, I needed to get back up and finish what I was doing. I raced up there and saw the timer going down. It was a circle thing, and it was, and it said 4, which I knew it was seconds because I had seen it counting down as I was coming up the hill, and I thought, oh my goodness, 4, and I hit that submit button. Now, when I came up the hill, I didn't see the man anymore. He wasn't there. But I did manage to hit that submit button right in the nick of time. And so right then the dream ended. And I thought to myself, wow, that's really interesting. The number 4 again popping up, and something else too. I thought, well, the submit button, don't you normally like hit an enter button, or a processing button or something? The submit button, I thought that was interesting. That was an interesting word. So anyway, let's just kind of go over this so that we can see some things that I saw in here that I wanted to just go ahead and point out to you. So I was in this car, right? And I was trying to find the airport, but I didn't know where it was. Here I am in control, trying to do something on my own, and I finally realized I can't do this on my own. I need to follow God, and I need the Lord to lead me. And so right in the beginning, wisdom stepped in. Faith and trust in God stepped in, and I was able to get to the airport. And so, message in the dream number 1. Guys, we have to give up our own self. We have to submit to the Lord, and submit to His way, we can't waste time and precious time and energy trying to do something on our own. We have to stop and say, God, here it is. Take the reins. What was that? What's that country song? Jesus, take the wheel. And so basically I changed lanes and I was able to get to the airport. So we know that this was the Lord God that got me there. And then, and I thought to myself, man, you are definitely the author and the finisher of my faith. And you do make sure that I get where I need to be. It may be in the nick of time, but you're going to make sure I get where I need to be. And so I was thankful about that. And then the other part was that I saw here was that we had to be real careful about. Guys, we're almost at the finish line. I mean, I was there getting my tickets. The tickets were there. I said this. This is what I said. I said, I was there to get my tickets, and actually they are there and accessible. I just needed to print them. So so they're there. What I need to board the plane, what I need to board the plane is already there. It's already there. I just need to get them. I just need to be able to print them, get them in my hand, or get them accessible. I just need to access them. There we go. There's the words. Okay. And so, but I needed to be real careful. I needed to be careful. I needed to be aware of who was around me. I needed to be aware of, my surroundings and what all's going on. And so was the person that was next to me another person that was getting on board the flight? I don't know, because I didn't talk with him. When I had got there, I was very focused on what I needed to do, and I knew I had looked at the man. I didn't know who he was. I didn't even say hello, how are you doing? What's up? Nothing. I didn't say any of that, which is very unlike me, because I do at least say a courtesy to somebody. So was he someone that was getting on the plane with me, or was he going on another plane, or what was he just that, or what? Who was he? I don't know. And what happened to me? How did I end up down at the bottom of the hill? And where was this man when I got back up? So was he part of the enemy? Was there a ploy to knock me off of my path so that I might miss, my opportunity? I don't know. I don't know what that was. But for me to say, I probably just walked away, that's highly unlikely. I have to say this again, it was highly unlikely, because I knew, I was excited, I was trying to find the airport, I knew what the tickets were for. I knew, in my dream, I knew, and I was excited. I was like, it's time, it's finally time, here's the tickets, and what have you. So, and then the other thing that I wanted to talk about and point out in this dream was, that 4 number again. I had 4 seconds left, and again, it's coming back to that 4. But I had to hit the submit button, guys, and I thought to myself, well, that's just such a strange word. When you hit a button, the submit word just didn't make sense to me. So I went ahead and I pulled up to see what the definition of submit was. And this is the definition of submit. To yield to governance or authority. To present or propose to another for review or consideration or decision. To yield oneself to the authority or will of another. And guess what my synonym is? Surrender. Synonym was surrender. To give oneself up into the power, especially to give over to something. Surrender. Now you guys know, we just talked about that word. We talked about that word when the Lord was talking to us about the eagles, and He was telling us it was time to fly. He said, you have your wings. It's time to fly. And that when I closed my eyes, nothing happened. Remember, when I closed my eyes, nothing happened. And I said to the Lord, Father, what's going on? Why can't I do this? And He said, you have to surrender. You have to surrender. And so, um, and so I've only tried it one other time before, and I've just not had any quiet, peaceful time in order to get it done. I have not. I have craziness going on at my house with the packing and the contractors and, you know, preparing this house to sell, having another one that we're going to have to merge into, work on top of that, family on top of that, you know, studies on top of that, everything else on top of that. I've not had time to do it. But this dream is telling me we have to make time to do it. I have to make time to do it. You guys need to make time to do it. We've been given our wings. Remember those messages? We've been given our wings. It's time to fly. So I had a sister in Christ get a hold of me, and she's had an experience since those videos. And the experience that she shared with me is so wonderful. It is so fabulous. I want to so badly. At the same time, I think I am holding on, maybe to fear, maybe, or I'm not sure exactly. But there is one thing that I want to say to this sister, and to everyone else too, but it's going to mean more to her. The morning before you told me your experience and the words the Lord told you, the morning before that, the Lord told me the same thing. So I had went into prayer with the Lord the very next morning, from when I was talking to him about, you know, the message and what's going on, and, you know, what does this mean, and what do we have to do? And the Lord told me, you just have to close your eyes and jump. That's what he told me. You have to close your eyes and jump. Okay. The sister told me the very next day, it was actually on the Friday that I was going to be leaving to go and take the weekend with my husband. She told me the information. The Lord told her, close your eyes and jump. And so, guys, I'm here to say that this dream that has come up today, where the submit button, the synonym for that is surrender, then that leads me right back to the eagles and the flying messages that the Lord's been talking about. We are right there. For me to be headed to the airport and not know how to get there, not know my way, and for me to tell myself, I just have to trust the Lord. Let him lead me. And then I made my way to the airport. Just saying that, thinking that, in my mind and being, all of a sudden I was headed into that direction, the airport direction. And so, guys, we're getting ready to take flight. The tickets were I was going to the airport. The tickets were to board a plane. We were going to fly. We have to surrender. We have to submit. Somehow, some way. I am probably just going to have to stop everything. Stop all future studies. Stop all everything until I can make sure that this step has been taken. This next step, this next level I have stepped into. Because for the Lord to give it to me in many, many messages, and then for us to be talking about it, it is that we're getting ready to fly. And now he's given me the dream, and we're getting ready to go. And he's used the word submit. and the synonym is surrender. Guys, I'm telling you, we have to look, we have to just not listen to this message and seriously and honestly take it to heart. We're having to go up that next level. Now, is it just me that is struggling getting to this next level? I don't know. I'm sure others are out. I talked with a brother in Christ today, and he's jumping all over the place. So, so guys, I mean, you know, this is our next level, and we're just going to have to trust him. We're going to have to trust him. And so I'm going to ask for prayer for myself. Help me to remove. Pray that I get help to remove whatever it is just blocking me, stopping me from moving forward. Whether it's an attack, whether it's something within myself, whatever it is, I'm going to be praying for that, and I'm just going to be asking for prayer for that from you as well. One other thing that I wanted to just kind of define was that ivy. Remember, the ivy was growing on the wall, and right around the thing. And when I pulled up the definition of ivy, this is what it says: a climbing vine. A climbing vine. And so I'm going to leave that with you. So guys, we are very, very close. We are very, very close. With this dream about the flying, we've been talking about the eagles and having wings and flying. I know people hear my videos and think, you know, this girl's crazy. Guys, I'm telling you, we're getting ready. We're getting ready to shoot on out of here. We've been talking about other studies we've been talking about. We just talked about the man-child yesterday. In Revelation 12, we just talked about that. We talked about the 144. Remember, we even recapped what the Lord said to me back in January, the first of the year, where He said who the 144 were, and and then we've also done some studies in Ezekiel 7, coming into this, where, you know, or not 7, Ezekiel 37, where it was, you know, the dry bones and, you know, the dead coming back to life, the resurrection power. And then even before that, it was, you know, the shores of Galilee. Remember that? You know, the Lord is pointing us to a huge thing that's getting ready to happen, and He's doing it in more than one way. And so we can't forget the things that He's been teaching us coming up, and as we're going along, you know, he's opening our eyes to a lot of different things. And so guys, I just want to say, you know, is something going to happen? You know, is the dead in Christ getting ready to be raised? Are we getting ready to take flight and get out of here? You know, is something going to be happening around the shores of Galilee? You know, is that where some of the dry bones are? Where, you know, what is this? What can this be? You know, we don't really know. But we do know that He's been taking us on this path, on this journey, and He's been talking about all of these things, and it's all centered around the same thing. And so, guys, I just wanted to bring that dream to you. I had it last night. I thought it was pretty important. And then just thinking about all of these other studies that we've had coming up into it. So, so I think it's important enough for me to even halt as I sat going and thinking about this dream this evening that I had this morning, because I've been busy, swamped all day long. As I sat and thought about it, and the Lord, you know, opened my eyes to what it could be pertaining to, I said, oh my goodness, I've got to get this shared. I've got to get this out. And I almost want to stop all of my other studies until I can get this, until I can take this next step, until I can make sure that I am keeping up with the Lord, that I am in where He needs me to be, in the nick of time, You know, He's saying 4 seconds are left. That's how close we are. And so we need to submit and we need to surrender. And so, guys, I just want to say thank you for coming back, watching my other video. God bless you. Stay under His wing and go into prayer, please, about what He is trying to say unto you about these flight videos. I love you guys.